Okay, so one of the things that I'm discovering with my son is that, of course, he needs a lot of direction, he needs a lot of guidance. And of course, yes, sometimes, if he does something wrong or inappropriate, we need to discipline him in a way that's going to redirect him to do the right thing. Well, as you start your teaching careers, you're going to find out that a lot of the issues that you might encounter in teaching the band are going to happen because of discipline issues or things that need to be redirected. So how you handle those discipline issues are very important, because kids in general, but students are very smart. They'll catch on to you, and so they appreciate somebody who cares about them and somebody who has their best interest. So one of the things that I think that will help is if you start doing things that are going to help you in the later years. In other words, what I'm trying to say is you need to, in a sense, train your beginner students, your sixth grade students, how you want them to be in seventh grade and in eighth grade. Because once you get them in sixth grade, they're very trainable. It's the first year in middle school. They've never experienced band, and so it's fresh and it's new to them. So it's really important that you start off, especially with the sixth graders, on the right track. And one of the things that I like to do, that we like to do in our program, is do what we call the 3 band rules. And what those are is they're just 3 simple rules that we follow to establish discipline, to establish an atmosphere in our band program so that we're able to teach them. It's very difficult to teach in a setting where students are not paying attention, where students are talking or constantly off task, and you're having to redirect them constantly. And that's very difficult to do, and it could be very frustrating and very discouraging, especially as a first-year teacher. But one of the things that we've discovered, and this is not something that I came up with, this is just something that I continue to do in our band program, was doing those 3 band rules. And that first band rule is sit at the edge of the chair. And we make a big deal out of it. We make it fun. We say, look, you're going to learn 3 band rules. These are very important. And so we write them on the board, and you have to be very animated with them. You can't be boring. You can't be like monotone. You have to be very exciting. You have to sell it to them. So what we do is we write on the board band rules, and we put band rule number 1, sit at the edge of the chair. And then we demonstrate to them how we want them to sit at the edge of the chair. We're the pro. We know what we want them to look like. So we demonstrate and say, look, this is how you sit at the edge of the chair, and the posture and the whole deal. So we tell them, look, this is how you do. You slide up to the edge and so on and so forth. Very simple. We try to do the band rule kind of melodic and rhythmic and so on and so forth to make it fun. So what I do is, okay, I'm going to yell at the band rule, and you guys have to respond. So I'm going to yell, band, what's rule number 1? And they're going to yell back at me, sit at the edge of the chair. And as they're doing that, they're going to go ahead and do the band rule. They're going to sit at the edge of the chair, right? And so we'll repeat it. I'll give a nice tempo. Say, band, what's rule number 1? Sit at the edge of the chair. And so they're yelling it out loud. It's very exciting. And if they're not animated enough for you, if they're not strong enough for you, you can just tell them, hey, you've got to make sure you say it louder. You got to make sure you're more excited. They got to be able to hear you on the other side of the room, and scare them and so on and so forth, just to kind of get them animated. And then you do it again. Band, what's rule number 1? Sit at the edge of the chair. And then, of course, they do it. And And then I show them the second band rule. And I put up there on the board, band rule number 2, right? Number 2, feet flat on the floor. And then I tell them, look, now that you're at the edge of the chair, we're going to do the exact same thing, but now we're going to do the second band rule. So then I do the second band rule with them, and I tell them, okay, well, I'm going to say it nice and loud, and you also have to repeat after me nice and loud while you're sitting at the edge of the chair. So then I'll do it again, nice and steady. Band, what's rule number 2? And they'll yell out, feet flat on the floor. You know, and once again, if they're not animated, you have to be animated. You kind of have to encourage that. You have to sell them on the fact that they have to be animated. Your excitement has to be contagious, and so you have to do it several times sometimes. That's just the name of the game, right? So then you do it again. Come on, you can do better than that. Band will rule number 2. Feet flat on the floor, and then they do it. But not only do they do feet flat on the floor, but then we also have them do left, right. Okay, so we add that component after they get the feet flat on the floor, and then I tell them, okay, now you have to do left, right, just to make sure that their feet are completely flat on the floor. I don't want their feet to be flat on an instrument case. I don't want their feet to be flat on the stand or somewhere else where it's not supposed to be flat. So I'd like for the feet to be flat on the floor. So then I say, okay, now let's do it again. Let's go ahead and do the left, right part of it. So then I do it again. Band, what's rule number 2? Feet flat on the floor, left, right. All right. Oh, that wasn't strong enough. Let's do it again. You can do better. Come on, you can do it. And they're all laughing and they're having a great time. Band, what's rule number 2? Feet flat on the floor, left, right. And then once they do it the way that you want them to do it, then you go on to band rule number 3. Okay, now we're going to do band rule number 3. Now that you're at the edge of the chair, now that your feet are flat on the floor, let's go ahead and do the final and last rule. You put the rule number 3 up on the board. You say, okay, band rule number 3 is extremely important. And this band rule is hold still. And you write that on there on the board, hold still. And I tell them, okay, we're going to do that band rule. Let me practice with you. Let me demonstrate for you. Band, what's rule number 3? Hold still. And then I tell them, and you have to actually do that. You have to hold still completely. Your back straight, your posture needs to be good. Your hands need to be on your knees, and your feet, of course, need to be flat on the floor. You're already supposed to be sitting at the edge of the chair, so all 3 band rules should be happening at the same time. And you hold still and you freeze, right? For an indefinite amount of time. You can say 10 seconds, 15 seconds. You're the one that decides how long they hold still. And you'll be surprised how many of them do it. And at first, yeah, you might get a giggle here or there, a little bit of somebody laughing because they think it's silly or so on and so forth. You just have to encourage them to tell them that this is really important because they're going to have to be sitting this way, especially at the concert in front of hundreds of people that are going to be taking pictures and so on and so forth, maybe possibly videotaping them. So they want to look absolutely great the day of the concert. So this is really, really important. And then once they get the idea of the third band rule, then we run through all 3 band rules. Okay, now slide back, and now we're gonna do all 3 band rules together. I'm gonna call out the band rule, and you're gonna echo after me the response, and you're actually gonna do it. You guys ready? Yes, and everybody's laughing, everybody's excited. Okay, so here we go. Band, slide back, and make sure everybody's sitting up at the edge of or to the back of the chair. And everybody's ready to go. All 6th graders and beginner band students are excited, right? So then I go, okay, here we go. This is important. Let's do it correctly. You might want to even say, well, okay, here's your first chair grade or chair test or whatever you want to call it. Let's all do it really well. Okay, here we go, band. And you can click away. Band, what's rule number 1? And then they yell, sit at the edge of the chair. And then you say, band, what's rule number 2? And then they're going to respond, feet flat on the floor, left, right. And then you're going to say, band, what's rule number 3? They're going to say, hold still. And they're going to freeze. And you're going to tell them, hold still for a few seconds. Freeze. You should be able to hear the crickets in the background. And you're going to be surprised how frozen they are. And you're going to tell them, this is your band position. This is the way that you need to be. And while they're holding still, you can be telling them these things. Look, this is the way you need to hold still. This is the way that you need to be during band. This is the way that you need to be when we're giving you instruction at concerts and so on and so forth. So that way they understand that this is the position that they need to be in. And I guarantee you, this is going to help you. 100% of the time, a lot of your discipline problems are going to be gone. Why? Because they know how to sit properly. They know where their feet should be. They know how to be holding still during instruction. And it really does help a lot. And they're going to carry this on to 7th grade and then, of course, on to 8th grade. And then if it eventually gets to the point where you don't have to do the band rules, you just tell them, okay, let's do band rule 1, 2, 3. And they go ahead and do that, and then just do it all by themselves. This is a great pointer, and I can't stress this enough. This is going to help the band program, your band program, and it's going to help you with discipline like you wouldn't believe. Once again, you can review the band rules, and I'm not going to pause, but this is how I would do it in my band hall. It'd be all animated, and we'd do the click. I'd be looking right at them, and I make sure that they knew that this was super important. Here we go, band. Band, what's rule number 1? Sit at the edge of the chair. Band, what's rule number 2? Feet flat on the floor, left, right. Band, what's rule number 3? Hold still. And then I say freeze. Look your best. Be your best. And you're going to hear silence. And they're going to be holding still. And they're going to look super awesome. And then you tell them to slide back. And then you tell them how great of a job that they did. And you get them excited. You tell them that was super awesome. Man, I've never seen a beginner band this great. Man, you guys were spot on. Your parents are going to be so proud of you the day of the concert. They're going to be taking so many pictures of you, and man, they're going to want to take you out to dinner after or whatever. They're going to want to prepare a great meal for you at home, and you're going to make them really, really proud. So I hope this tip is helpful to you. I hope that you apply it. I hope that you use it. It really has helped me in my 21 years of teaching. We do this every year with our beginners. They know the band rules. 7th graders, we reinforce those. We don't go through the process in 7th grade, but they understand that those are the 3 band rules. That's the way that they're supposed to be sitting and how they're supposed to be as far as their posture is concerned. And then of course in 8th grade it just carries on. They're more mature, but they know how to behave during a rehearsal. They know when to do the band rules and the fact that it's an important thing to the success of the program. So apply those band rules. Let me know if they work for you. You can leave a comment down below and see if you use them. If you have any questions on how to actually apply these band rules, go ahead and comment below, and I'll go ahead and answer those questions. But in the meantime, have a great year, and I hope that these videos are helpful to you. And if they are, you can go ahead and subscribe and click the like button, and hope to see you guys again next time. Have a great day. Mario. And I think where is he? He's just jumping away. Hey, Mario. Hi. Look. Hey. Say hi. Say hi. Or not. I think that meant hi. I think that was a hi. That was a hi for Mario. Say hi. That's translation hi in Baby Talk.